Hey guys, Bubba and Tom here. Got a few minutes today, so we thought we'd do. I said we. I thought I'd do a video about roaches. Last one was about roaches, but it was about regular big American roaches and sewer stuff. This one's about the German roach, your friend. Probably not anybody's friend. The German roach are different than the big roaches because they like to be around people. Okay? They'll eat anything. The other ones feed off mostly bacteria. Roaches feed off food that we leave. Now, the thing about German roaches, there's a few things to understand. Is they only travel 3 feet their entire life, roughly. That's roughly. So when they get in like a kitchen or a place, they're transported by us. They hitch a ride. I've seen them in kids' backpacks, people's shoes, all kinds of things. They only travel 3 feet their entire life. So how did they get where they are? I actually have been brought home dog food from the grocery store. Tore the little, it's got the little thing you rip off, and roaches fell out of there in the dog food from the grocery store. So then I had to kill them, of course, so they didn't multiply. But that's 3 feet. The German roach likes to feel something on their antennas and their feet, so they like to be in close, confined spaces. They love like corrugated cardboard and stuff like that. They want to feel their antennas touch something, their feet touch something. They feel safe. And they spend 85% of their day tucked in, hiding somewhere. They can only come out about 15% of their day. That's just to eat, to find food, and to poop, because roaches will find a spot to poop. You see all this little fecal matter, and it's roach poop, which is kind of gross. Another thing about German roach makes it unique. A German roach, this is kind of mind-blowing, but one German roach can breed, and depending on what source you read on Google, whatever, about 35,000 babies in a year. That's 35,000 babies. Each egg sac can hold up to 50 little roaches. Once it hatches, they all just go berserk, and in just weeks they could breed again themselves. So 35,000 in a year. So it does not take them long to overtake a place, and that's why they call it infestation. When you got one roach breeding 35,000 in a year, imagine what 20 roaches can do. Multiply 35,000 times 20, and you can get a lot of damn roaches. That's why they infest. They take over a place. Like the others are occasional invaders, we call them in the business. They just come in for different reasons. But the German roach is going to get there and establish himself as home. Now, a German roach can live for 30 days with just a drop of water. All they need is some water. They can also, if we leave food behind, great for them. But just water and a little dust, because dust turns to protein when it's mixed with water, most dust. So they can live off that. So they're a force to be reckoned with. They're easy to get rid of in a sense that if you know where to find them, because like in kitchen cabinets, they go up in the back side of your cabinet where the corner is, along the not baseboard, the toe board, not toe board. Shit, I'm drawing a blank here. The backboard there. They go there. They go in drawers. Because they like confined spaces. They don't like to be out in the open. They like darkness, like damp, confined spaces. So in kitchen cabinets, they'll go on the back side, inside the cabinet. Take that top drawer out and spray up in the corners. You'll usually find a nest of them there. But that's the German roach. They are, like I said, they're a force to reckon with. It doesn't take them long to establish themselves either. Because once that female has babies, she's got 50 or so, then we went from 1 to 50. And do the math, 50 times 2, 100. Then you got 100 damn roaches running around there. And then those 100 can have babies. So it's one of those math problem things, like the checkerboard, multiply it out. So they can be nasty. They're easy to get rid of in a sense that you know where to flush, you know where to find them. You leave some good roach bait out, and they'll eat that stuff up like crazy because they're looking for food. They don't go far. Remember, they only travel 3 feet. So I go in school sometimes, and there's roaches in the serving line. Well, a high school serving line can be 50 to 60 feet long. So you got to help your bug guy. Help the bug guy, remember, and give them a little, because when you tell me there's roaches in your kitchen, show me where you find one. I'm going to draw a 3-foot circle, imaginary circle, and that's where I'm going to start my treatment. I'm going to focus in there. So if you know where they're at, and can give the guy, the technician, the pest guy, a good starting point, he can be effective with his treatment. When you say that they're everywhere, they're not everywhere. There's not one right there by your foot. There's not one on your face. They're not everywhere. They're just in certain places. Again, 3-foot rule with roaches. So if you know that as a technician, it's easier to treat and get rid of them. You just got to have some help from your customer to tell you where that is. Because when you just give somebody a broad thing for German roaches, it makes treatment harder. But they can be dealt with. It takes a follow-up, because that egg sac that they leave behind, no chemical that I know of can penetrate that egg sac. So all those little babies in there, they just hatch, and there's nothing there. There's nothing there to kill them. Nothing there. So you leave some good bait out where the sacs are. Again, wherever you see in fecal matter, you want to put bait around that area, because Mama Roach, the female, does not go far to where she poops. So she's going to go out, poop, and go back to where she feels safe. Or if she feels safe, she's going to make her babies and lay those eggs. And that's where the babies come out. So some good roach bait can kill all those little babies and get rid of them. So German roaches are, like I said, and it's another thing about them is it's not people think it's a sanitation issue. In a sense it is, but it's not really, because I've been in some kitchens and some restaurants where the grease was half-inch thick on the wall, and there's no roaches. You'd think there would be in a nasty-ass kitchen like that, but there's not. Because, again, you got a 3-foot rule. They don't travel far, so they got to be transported by us into that kitchen. And you get them a lot of times in, again, dog food from the grocery store. I have suppliers. They bring stuff in. One guy, he said, every time they bring boxes in, they're full of roaches. Exactly. That warehouse where those boxes come from is full of roaches. And they're transported by that delivery guy. Just like you go to the grocery store, don't bring a case of water in your house that's got cardboard on it, because they'll be down inside that. They look for water. That's what they got to have. And they'll be inside that corrugated cardboard, hiding out, waiting for you to give them a space to go. So, in that sense, they're transported by us. So you can have a nice, dirty, nasty kitchen, not have any German roaches. But I've been in places where it's nice and clean, and there's German roaches. It's not a sanitation issue. It's the fact that they got transported into that kitchen through something. You see it all the time. You ever got to the thrift store? I know a lady, she never had roaches before. Went to the thrift store, and she bought a coffee maker from the thrift store. Got a good deal on it, of course, but it had roaches in it when it still went to the thrift store. And so when she brought it home, she brought home an egg sac, and that one little egg sac hatched out babies. And now she's got an infestation in her house, all because she brought a coffee maker into her house, and she thought she was getting a good deal on. So they're transported by us. So a little, not trying to make you feel guilty, but most of the time we bring them in. I can go on stories about people that bring stuff in from their house. One lady, she brought a cooler into a building, set that cooler down. That cooler had been in her garage for a long time. That cooler was full of German roaches, and they took over the storage room because nobody was there. And we got it there, and it was pretty bad. I mean, there was thousands of freaking roaches. I'll gross you out a little bit. I went to one place, and I left because they were all in the ceiling tiles. And I had to get a slicker suit, a rain suit. When I took the ceiling tile off, they were falling like raindrops from the ceiling. Pretty gross. I had to get my little slicker suit on and go in and bomb the ceiling and spray it down real good. It was pretty nasty. I'll tell you another story. I will, as a matter of fact. I went into the place, in the kitchen, old mobile home, and it looked like there were stripes on the walls. The walls were so packed with roaches, they had stained the back of the wall. And the only place that was white was where the 2x4 was, the stud in the wall. That was white. The rest of the wall was turning black from all the roach poop. So it was pretty gross there. So anyway, back to the original thought of this is, again, they're transported by us. They don't travel far. So when you see a roach, they're only about 3 feet. So people say all the time, my neighbor's got roaches, so I have roaches. No, not German roaches. Again, they don't like outdoors, like a constant temperature. That's why they love things like refrigerators, motors that stay at constant warm temperature all the time. They love that because they don't like temperature change. In some instances where you can't use chemical, use heat to heat up the environment. And a good 10 to 15 degree change in temperature, whether it be cold or hot, one way or the other, will force the roaches out. And you just vacuum them up with your vacuum cleaner. That's how you do roaches with no pesticide. But a change in temperature, that's why refrigerator motors, because that motor puts off moisture. I don't have a drip pan in the bottom filled with water. The roaches go for the water. There's dirt back there. There's dust back there. It's a breeding ground. They just love stuff like that. So anyway, when you get German roaches, take care of it. Don't delay, because one goes to 35,000 in a short period of time, a year. But anyway, you get the point. Not something to just ignore. They can be pretty brutal. And again, it's not that you're a dirty person. You keep a dirty house. Like I said, I've been in some kitchens that were pretty damn gross. I went in one restaurant, and you could literally slide across the floor in the kitchen. It was not safe to walk in that kitchen, and it was dirty. It had the grease on the wall, hadn't been cleaned, but they had no German roaches, even though it was such a nasty kitchen. No roaches, because they'd never been transported into the kitchen. They always kept them out. So anyway, that's our Bugman field trip tip for the day on German roaches. So beware. And remember, we are out here saving the world one bug at a time. Bugman out. Thanks a bunch, guys. Bye.